I want to fight against Islam, which I would love to do it. No problem. Like, this is competition, you know. I'm not gonna lose my life inside that octagon. So I'm beat him and get the third title. That will be the best scenario.
Ilia versus Islam now needs to happen. But if Islam beats JDM, Islam versus Ilia at 170 is insane. Ilia is probably considered one of the greatest of all time.
Islam can fight him, but I think Islam will be one of the greatest challenges he would have because they're both just next.
He deserves.
I think if he move up and he beat somebody like Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira,
Islam becomes the welterweight world champion. For sure, I'm gonna push for that shot also, and I will move to the welterweight division.
It's possible that Ilia Topuria has become even more dangerous for Islam Makhachev after almost killing Charles Oliveira. The new lightweight king thinks he can beat Islam Makhachev and even get his third title.
I think there is a space for a curve.
Ilia Topuria is thinking about moving up to middleweight if Islam Makhachev wins that title. He said he would go after that fight and try to win the title, which showed how serious he was about becoming a winner in more than one weight class. This move shows that he is sure of himself and wants to do well in the sport.
Islam becomes the welterweight world champion. For sure, I'm gonna push for that shot also, and I will move to the welterweight division.
Ilia Topuria is sure he can beat Islam Makhachev at welterweight and become a winner in 3 weight classes. He also said that he had trained with welterweight boxers before and felt strong and sure of himself during those lessons. Ilia thinks he can beat and finish anyone in that level, which makes him want to win a third title.
A press conference you did today where you said, I'm not done with Islam Makhachev. If he wins the welterweight title and he's going to stay up there, I want to go after him. Bro, you've accomplished everything you said you would do. Why do you believe that you can be a 3-weight world champion? That's, 25 pounds in total to cross over. Like,
Why not? I don't know. I used to train with people who fight in the welterweight division, and I felt very good. We have very competitive rounds, and I feel that I can dominate and knock out anyone in this.
Islam Makhachev hasn't said for sure that he won't go back to lightweight either. He replied he isn't sure yet, but if the right opportunity rises and something amazing happens, he will consider it and make a decision then.
Cut to lightweight that stands out as the most challenging one?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we will see.
Yeah.
If something interesting coming to me, we'll see.
Ilia responded to Islam Makhachev's statement about maybe returning to lightweight by saying he would want to face Islam at 170 pounds. He said it would be better for him to fight Islam at middleweight so he could beat him and get his third title.
Makhachev did an interview and said he's not ruling out coming back down to 155. Would you rather fight him at 170 to get that third title, or would you be willing to fight him at 55 because that's the division that people say he might be the best at?
It would be much better for me to fight him in 170, and I will beat him and get the third title.
On the other hand, Islam Makhachev shared his desire to become a double champion. He stated that owning the belt is a big ambition for every fighter. While many athletes win one title, very few become winners into groups. That's why so many fighters aim for it. Islam mentioned that he hopes to join that select group and make history by winning crowns into different weight divisions.
Clarify, did they make you give up the lightweight title?
The General and everybody? Yeah. Of course, this is the dream, man. This is the dream for the all champions. And we know many champions, but not is there from them double. That's why everybody want to be double champ. Everybody want to be UFC champ, but we don't have many people who have 2 belts. That's why I want to be one of them.
When questioned if Islam stepped up to welterweight to escape him, Ilia Topuria admitted that Islam is not afraid of him. Ilia stated that Islam did it because he had personal goals. Ilia also mentioned that they might continue to fight in the future. He explained that if he wins the lightweight belt and Islam wants the welterweight title, he may move up or Islam may drop down so they can have the huge fight that everyone wants to watch.
Meant to be Islam, that was the big talk, but he moved up to welterweight. Do you believe he moved up to welterweight to avoid you, or because he has his own goals?
Because he has his own goals. This is what I think.
Do you still think that's a fight that should happen? You guys are both forging legacies in different weight divisions? Do you think that's a massive fight that should happen?
We'll see how he does in the welterweight division. If he wins the title, I win the title in the lightweight division. Maybe I move up or he comes down to the lightweight division and we have the fight that everyone wants.
Topuria revealed why he wants to fight Islam Makhachev, despite knowing that Islam is a superb fighter and a beast. Ilia stated that he likes true competition and does not want to take easy fights against opponents he knows he can easily defeat. Instead, he wants to face boxers who, according to supporters, will provide him with a stiff competitive task. He likes building excitement and high-level expectations. And this is why he wants to fight Islam.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah, but I like the competition, and I don't like to be a bully and fight with people that I know 100% that I'm gonna whoop his ass. You know, I like to fight with people that the fans think that it's gonna be very competitive. That kind of expectations I like to create. So with Islam, I'm gonna have that. Doing again the rematch with people that I are really.
Meanwhile, this bout will most likely take place very soon, as Khabib that Islam will fight Ilia after beating Charles Oliveira earlier. Khabib stated unequivocally that Islam will not give title battles to champions in lower weight classes. He mentioned that Islam will only face Ilia if he defeats any top challenger in the lightweight category first. Ilia is likely to occur soon.
He deserves. I think if he move up and he beat somebody like Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira, he's next. Why not? Because there is nobody.
So you don't think right now Ilia deserves a shot at 155 pounds?
Without fighting in 155? Without, no, I don't agree. Because Islam already give chance. And people talk bad about like, oh, he fight 2 times with Volkanovski. But the UFC pushed this fight. And this fight was good in first fight. But why Islam have to give 3 times chance for 145 champion? Why? It's not fair for 155.
Khabib also wanted Ilia to face Charles, and he predicted that Topuria would beat Charles Oliveira.
If he move up and he beat somebody like Charles Oliveira, of course. You know what I think?
Yeah.
I think he can beat him.
Yeah.
I think he can beat him.
I like Charles, but I think so too.
No, I think Ilia can beat him.
Before his win at UFC 317, Ilia Topuria was irritated by Islam Makhachev's choice to go up to welterweight and called him a hypocrite. He stated that Makhachev once discussed offering opportunities to smaller fighters like himself. But now, when Ilia requests the same chance, Islam chooses to move up in weight rather than confront him. Topuria claimed it is unreasonable for Islam to judge him while doing exactly what he once condemned, calling it the most blatant example of hypocrisy he has ever witnessed.
It's like they don't want to do that too much anymore, right? Like Ilia had to give up his belt, you gave up your belt.
Yeah. Because, you know, I want to hold my belt from the lightweight, but it's not possible because I fight in January and we wait. If I fight with Mandalena, when it's gonna be October, November, and fight again February, Ramadan is beginning. Holding more than 1 year's lightweight belt, it's not what I want to do, you know.
Yeah, not fair to the division.
Yeah. And it's not respect for all these guys. You know?
Ilia Topuria even took a swipe at Islam Makhachev, claiming that he isn't as popular as people think. He contended that fighting Paddy Pimblett would create more attention and interest than confronting Islam. Ilia further stated that even in Islam's own territory, audiences are not very enthusiastic to see him act live. Furthermore, he questioned Islam's attitude, claiming that he lacks the charisma and presence needed to be a huge star on the other side. Sean O'Malley thinks that Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev is the battle to watch right now since no one else can beat Ilia. He stated that Ilia should fight Islam next, and if Islam wins his battle against Jack Della Marilena, a fight with Ilia at 170 pounds would be crazy. Sean praised Ilia for eliminating Volkanovski, Holloway, and Oliveira, calling it incredible. He mentioned that Ilia is already one of the finest of all time, a true superstar.
But Ilia needs to fight Islam. If Islam loses, that's not the same. Ilia versus Islam now needs to happen. But if Islam beats JDM, Islam versus Ilia at 170 is insane. Ilia is probably considered one of the greatest of all time. Knocking out Volk, knocking out Holloway, then knocking out Charles is fucking insane. Ilia is a superstar.
Michael Bisping called Ilia Topuria a great force and claimed he was amazing. He thinks Ilia will become the pound-for-pound #1, or that he and Islam Makhachev will compete for that position. Bisping thinks that the matchup will occur in the future. He mentioned Joe Rogan's statement that he would fly to Spain to commentate if the bout took held at the Bernabeu Stadium. Bisping also quipped that he would love to gain that position. He described it as the type of fight that is worth flying around the world to see.
Topuria, the man's a force of nature. He's absolutely unbelievable. He'll probably be the pound-for-pound #1, or maybe, I mean, him or Islam, it's got to be something like that. And that fight's going to happen down the line. Joe Rogan was talking about it. He said if you do that in Spain at the Bernabeu Stadium, Joe Rogan will be going out to Spain to commentate. I was like, you bastard, I might get that one, but no, it will be Joe Rogan, and that would be a fight to travel.
Daniel Cormier called Ilia Topuria as a great superstar that fans will be watching for a long time. He feels that as long as Ilia is focused and does things properly, he will be a dominant force in the category and retain the lightweight title for a long time. Cormier thinks Islam Makhachev would be one of Ilia's most difficult opponents, because they are both on another level, but for the time being, he thinks Ilia is outpacing everyone else, which is incredible to witness.
Topuria is a real-life star, man. He really is. And I think that we're going to be watching this kid for a real long time. As long as he stays the course, he seems to be doing all the right things. As long as he stays the course, I believe he's going to be very viable and in the championship picture as the champion at 155 for a long time. I think Islam can fight him. But I think Islam will be one of the greatest challenges he would have because they're both just next level. But right now, man, he seems to be separating himself from everybody.
Alexander Volkanovski also expressed his thoughts on a potential battle between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. He elaborated, Islam is really good, but Ilia is the kind of fighter who can knock out anyone. Volkanovski added that Ilia has great strength, and everyone knows that when you meet him, that knockout power is always his best chance to win.
See that fight going between Islam and Ilia.
Yeah, I mean, like Islam's really good, you know what I mean? But again, Ilia's the type of guy that he could knock out anyone. So he's got power in them hands, you know what I mean? Everyone knows that. You go in there fighting him, you know that that's his chance of...
Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria showed interest in a hypothetical pound-for-pound match with Islam Makhachev if they both win championships in their new division. He stated that if Islam wins the welterweight title and he grabs the lightweight belt, it will set up the ideal fight to determine who is actually the best. Ilia stated his desire for the fight to take place before the end of the year, but knows that the final decision is up to the UFC, while he is fully prepared for it. He recognizes that the promotion must make the best business choice.
Lo dije, si él se convierte en campeón de peso welter y yo ahora cuando gane el de peso ligero, ¿por qué no hacer un pound for pound belt?
¿Ves eso inmediatamente? ¿Ves eso como tu siguiente pelea? Digamos, ganas el sábado, Islam gana octubre, noviembre.
Es lo que te digo. Yo, para mí, es el escenario perfecto. Luego también tienes que tener en cuenta qué es lo que la UFC quiere, ¿no? Porque ellos saben cómo manejar su empresa. Entonces no sé si entra en sus intereses. De mi parte, yo estaría encantado de aceptarlo, pero también tenemos que considerar un montón.
Dana White also noted on Ilia Topuria pushing Islam Makhachev for the #1 pound-for-pound place, saying, "It's interesting." Dana described Ilia as a consummate combatant who delivered perfectly on his promises. He lauded Ilia's hitting, grappling, and general abilities, saying that she is a star.
I think that he gives Islam a run for the money he is pound for pound right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, he did exactly what he said he's going to do. He is an absolute complete fighter. You know, stand up is beautiful, ground, grappling, everything. Yeah, this kid's a star.
Dana White was asked if Ilia Topuria is the hardest hitter, pound for pound in UFC history, having knocked out 3 famous warriors in a succession. Dana noted that Ilia is clearly on a 3-fight winning streak against legends. He stated that he doesn't know where Ilia stands in terms of striking power pound for pound, but that moving up a weight class and finishing fights like Ilia did in the first round is really amazing.
Punching power standpoint, you know, he knocks out Volkanovski, Holloway, and Oliveira, you know, 3 amazing fighters in a row. Is he the hardest hitter pound for pound that the UFC has ever had?
He's on a great 3-fight win streak for sure. You know, all legends that he knocked out. I don't know. I don't know where he sits pound for pound punching power, but, you know, moving up a weight class like that and doing what you say you're going to do in the first round and the way he did it is very impressive.
Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria has stated that he is completely prepared to defend his lightweight title against Islam Makhachev if Islam returns after winning the welterweight belt. He mentioned that he will not go out of his way to pursue someone, but if Islam wants to fight, he is ready to protect his lightweight championship. Ilia also stated that if the situation arises, he is ready to step up and fight for the welterweight belt himself.
They face Makhachev. Are you okay not doing it, or is that something that's still a goal?
I don't care. I don't wanna run behind anyone. You know what I mean? So if he wants to fight, I will be here. I will defend my belt, and he can come and fight for a lightweight belt, or I can move to the welterweight and we fight for the welterweight belt. I don't care.
However, Ilia Topuria made it plain that if Islam Makhachev loses at welterweight and then moves down to lightweight, he will not receive an instant title shot. Ilia remarked unequivocally, if he loses, I'll give him nothing, stressing that Islam would have to work his way back up the division like any other candidate.
¿Islam Makhachev se la darías en caso de que pierda en el welter y quisiera bajar otra vez al ligero?
Si pierde no le doy nada. Si pierde, nada. Entonces que se ponga en la cola.
So, Ilia Topuria has made it clearly apparent that he wants Islam Makhachev next, whether at lightweight or welterweight. Ilia is ready to prove he is the true pound-for-pound king by adding another brutal knockout to his highlight reel. One thing is certain as the excitement grows and the rest of the world pays attention.